Welcome to the awakening. We have two special guests on the show today. We have Lucy Lemons as well as Elion. This is episode 2. We had a little bit of technical difficulties in the beginning, but the show must go on. Our first guest we got today is Miss Lemons. Welcome to the show, Miss Lemons.
Hi, Dante. Thank you. How are you?
Fine. And we also have Elion. Welcome to the show, Elion. Who do we got from 240?
240?
Yeah.
Joseph.
Joseph, okay, Joseph. Okay. That's one of your friends, Lucy?
Yes, very, very beautiful friend of mine.
Okay. We're going to try to get Elion back on the line.
Hello?
Yes, Elion, welcome to the show.
Oh, what's going on? How you doing, man?
Yeah, we had a little technical difficulties in the beginning, but the show must go on. Yeah, welcome to the show, Elion. We have Lucy Lemons on the line.
How you doing?
Hi, Elion. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm doing okay. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Nice to meet you. I'm in California, Palmdale, California, around Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you as well.
Okay, absolutely. And today's topic at hand is wage slavery. You know, we're going to discuss basically why should we have to work, you know, in a society that's unfair for human beings as ourselves, you know. Why does this exist? It just isn't right, you know. A lot of people think we're free, but really it's another form of slavery. Elion, what are your thoughts on this? Because me and you talk about this all the time.
Well, I mean, you know how it go. It's the powers that be, you know, people that got the money. I don't know, man. I mean, it is slavery, but I mean, it's that way because I don't feel like if I don't know. I mean, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and that's just basically because the people that set up these businesses or these structures, they have it formulated in a way to where the people that is doing all the work, they're expendable, you know, and they just got a high turnover rate because they can fill that position. It's like McDonald's. A lot of people that work at McDonald's, probably about 90% of them know that's not going to be a career, you know, and the other 10%, they may make it a career, you know, but I think we're in a day and age now, though, really, where you can create the type of job that you want, you know. You got teenage kids that are YouTube millionaires, and all they doing is eating cereal, or you know what I mean. So it's like this, man. Like everybody's not dealt the same hand, so people that have that advantage get farther in life, you know. There's kids that don't have to pay rent and they get a vehicle and they got cell phones, and then you got other kids who are maybe the same age that don't get a car and don't have a cell phone, and so it's not equal, you know. It's just not equal, and it's just messed up, man. It's a messed up world, bro.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. See what it is. It's set up as like a pyramid, you know. For those, a lot of people don't really know, it's like the boss is at the top, you know, and then he has the peons working underneath him, and basically it's a pyramid pyramid structure, and it's how it's structured is so the person at the top who owns the business, he can get rich, but the people underneath him they're going to continue to work, enslave their bodies away and enslave, and they will never have nothing to own for themselves. They will never have their own business. So pretty much they're working to make the company successful, but not each person individually successful, you know? So a lot of people, they look like, oh, I'm working here, I'm working for this company, I'm working with this, but they're not leaving behind a legacy. They're working towards somebody else's legacy. So when you die, you're building somebody else's dream. You're not building your own dream. You don't have nothing to pass down to your children. So it's really, in many ways, a facade. You know, a lot of people that they don't see it because they're sheep. You know, they get adjusted to these ways of living. That I got to get one. I got to get a job like everybody else, and they just get lost in the sauce. You know, Lucy, thoughts?
Yes. Hi, Dante.
What's your philosophy on it?
Yeah, I want to add on to that. I agree with what he said, that a lot of people don't have the same life chances. We don't all have the same opportunity. We don't all come from rich parents or whatever, so it's not going to be the same for everyone. And, I think that the reason that they make us work like this is because the powers that be that shouldn't be are using us to work for them and do them favors. And people don't realize the power that they have. They don't know how creative and divine they are. And that's why they are like stuck on loop. And all they do is just wake up every day and go to work, and they don't question it. They don't question why it's 8 hours. Why can't it be 3 hours? Why not 2? Why does full-time have to be 8? Why do they have to take all of our time away and our energy away? Why does it have to be that way? Nobody questions it. They just get up and do it. And that's what I have a problem with. Like, why don't you question that? Why do you just do what you're told to do? Why don't people go within themselves and, like, look within themselves and what feels right, what feels correct? But everyone is so not in touch with themselves that they don't even know what's right for them. People tell them what's right for them, and they are presented with what they think is right. And that's what I think that's why people think that they should be working, because they don't know their power. But it's not their fault, though. It's not their fault that they don't know their power.
That's true.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Before we first started the show, I played a clip from one of your YouTube videos, and you were saying you started when you was 14. Can you elaborate on that? How you started into the workforce and made you come to this conclusion?
Yeah, when I was 14, I started working because my family didn't make enough money for me to have my own little things that a teenager wanted. You know, teenagers like, I don't know, they like things. You know, they like to sport certain clothes or whatever, makeup, perfume, whatever it is that little girls like, and not just kids, not just girls, but like boys too. And I also kind of felt like I knew I could understand that my family was going through a struggle, so I agreed to work, and I started working when I was 14. My weekends were taken away from me. I didn't have them for myself, and that's not normal for, like, a person to be in school, going through high school, and for children to have to, like, pick up the slack of parents. And it doesn't mean that the parent is not doing their job. That's not what it means. Parents do their job, but the system is created in such a way that it makes parents look like they're not good enough. Like, the man is not making good enough money, so then the woman has to leave the house and go to work. Therefore, she can't take care of her kids anymore, and someone else is going to take care of them for her, either school a babysitter, or whatever, and that involves money. And yeah, I started working when I was 14. It just didn't feel right because at 14, I was very creative. I did a lot of fun things. You know, I used to play the piano, I used to draw, and sing and dance. And you grab a teenager and you take those qualities away from them, and you force them to do something that they don't necessarily want to do, but they understand that it has to be done, and it's just not natural because we are creators. The mind is a machine, like a creating machine. It was designed to build and make, and being confined to something that does not feed your soul or your mind or your spirit is not creation to me. That is like jail or prison. And I'm pretty sure that I speak for a lot of people when I say this, that a lot of people feel like they are confined in a box because they're going to work and they're leaving their families behind, their children. You have to suppress your feelings. You can't feel the things that you want to feel because you're forced to go to work. Working and being no, you're forced to be employed. Working and being employed is different. And I was forced to be employed because of money. Money is it's just paper with green makeup on it, backed up by your own stupidity because it does nothing for the soul. And it takes people's life away and energy. And anything that does that to you is not living. So if you have to do that, you're not living. Just because you're alive doesn't mean that you're living. And if you're living to chase paper, that's not life. Because life is deeper than that.
Definitely. That's a valid point you just stated. And I agree as well, because my personal input on that is we do all of this for money, and money doesn't even have value like that. It loses value to those who don't know. It loses value. So we're working and we're slaving our bodies for paper, for useless paper, with no meaning. It makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. One thing I can't stand about the workforce is that it seems like people, it's like in these organizations, it's like a lot of snobby people, you know, like you have the boss, and then the boss says, pick that up, do this, move this, you're fired, you this. And then anybody into the job, they're like kissing the boss's ass. It's like they're like, yes, sir, yes, sir. And they're doing all this stuff just for the money. So it's like everybody who works underneath the boss is like selling out just for a job. They're telling the boss everything he wants to hear, and they're just doing things that are totally out of their character just for a paycheck, and I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, for a paycheck. And they don't realize that they're giving themselves. When you give your energy away, you're giving yourself away. And to go to a job and give your energy away, and at that, it's even false. It's fake at that. So you're already having to be someone that you don't want to be. And how ugly is that? That you can't be yourself in life. You should always be yourself at life. A lot of people go to work and they put a smile on their face that they don't even mean it, but they have to because that's their job.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. It's fake smiles.
That's
fake laughs.
can't be healthy. It can't be good for the soul. It's like if people don't get it.
I agree. And the thing is, it's fake smiles. Hi, how's your day going? In all actuality, they don't really care about your life, period. You're just another body, you know? You're just another number to do their job. So they act like they care. So they say, how are you doing? And at the end of the day, if you do a bad job, they'll fire you. So it's no love in the workforce. It's no love, period.
There
It's
is
an
no
illusion.
love. I like no. There's no love.
It's a facade, you know. And another thing is like when you go for an interview, you have to tell the boss what he wants to hear so you can get hired. You know, when most people go to an interview, they always say, "I'm a good worker. I never made no mistakes." It's like you have to act like you damn near perfect just to get a fucking job. That's fucking ridiculous, you know. And you have to dress with a suit and tie, or you have to dress with a dress on. You know, you have to conform just for a job, you know.
Right.
And it's
So you're
like,
already anticipating, am I going to be accepted or not? It's mind
yes,
suffering.
yeah. Then it's like as soon as you do get hired, it's like you have to wear a uniform, so they dress you, a dress code, you know. And you're doing all of this for money. You have to wear a certain dress code and do all of this for money, and it's miserable. It's fucking miserable because a lot of people who do that, they're miserable people. Period. They go to work. Then as soon as it's the weekend, they have 2 days off. So they're like, how can I escape my problems? How can I escape my damn problems? Liquor. So they go to a bar, they get drunk, or they go to a liquor store, buy some Hennessy, buy some liquor, drink their life away Saturday and Sunday, you know, and then whoop-de-doo, Monday, back to work again. So it's like they live their life on autopilot on the weekend, intoxicated, just to get through the day, and then Monday, back to work. And it's like over and over again. It's like it's kind of like a robotic mentality, and that's actually crazy because you can lose your sanity doing that, you know?
Yes. They do that because they really want to escape the reality that they live in. And they just don't know what they're doing, though. But
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like they're running on a hamster wheel, you know? It's like they're looking for an escape. And one thing that I realized,
I think everybody wants to find a way out on things. Everybody wants to find a way out. And everyone uses a different way. Some people use money. Some people use gambling. There's different things, but everyone truly just wants comfort and happiness. And that's why they go to work. Because money, what does money represent? Money, to me, money is just paper, but let's use our imagination. Money represents comfort because why? Money puts a roof over your head. It gives you food on your table. It allows you to go to the movies and do little fun things. Money is basically a leash. You can have breakfast in California and dinner in Miami, and breakfast again in Washington, Oregon. That's what money is. It's a leash. So all that people really want is comfort. Everyone wants comfort and happiness to the soul and to the spirit. But they are so disconnected from themselves, like I said earlier, that they don't know that that's what they want. So they endlessly go to work looking for money, and they think they're happy because, like I said, money brings them comfort. But really what everybody wants is just happiness. Nobody gives a fuck about money. Money is just something that was created to control the human mind. Because
absolutely, I agree.
What these people want, the people in power that are in power that shouldn't be, the human being is such a powerful soul, and the only way that you can control it is by getting a hold of their mind. So if you can get a hold of their mind and you can make them think that they're working for something, they're going to put their all into it, because that's what people do. People put their all into something because we're creators and we are strong people. And so everyone's just focused on the wrong thing. That's all it is.
Yeah, I agree 100%. and it seems like a lot of people, they use that as an escape route, or if it's not that necessarily, it's always entertainment. Like they use the entertainment as an escape route. Like they worship celebrities or they worship sports, and they use that as a false identity, to escape. So they get in tune with what Beyonce is doing, what Rihanna's doing, what Kim Kardashian's doing.
Right.
All these false prophets,
That's because that's what they think, that's what's correct. The human being, whatever the human being is presented with, and everyone, right now, what does everyone do? Everyone gathers around the television and uses it as a source of gathering for the family. So it's almost as if the television is a family member. Everyone gathers around the television and they really pay attention to it. So if you see celebrities and stuff like that and Super Bowls, that's what you are going to think is important because that's what you see every day, because it's like it's presented to your mind, it's in your subconscious, but people don't realize it because really what you really need is in front of your face. If you just go out, just look at the sun, and realize that the sun is shining, the birds are singing, everyone's happy, and that's all you need. But people want to idolize other people because maybe there's something about themselves that's missing. And everyone has been split and separated from who they are, and they're looking for themselves in other people. When really everything you need is within yourself. So
absolutely, I agree.
It's a deep thing that you have to realize. I tie spirituality and all this good stuff into work because I'm not a person to be work. I have to go work and give my energy. Energy is a big deal to me. People don't look at it like that, but to me, energy is a big deal. That drives me, and it either puts me in a good mood or in a bad mood. It sets my lifestyle and everything. Everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Elian, you there?
Yeah, definitely.
So what's your input on this? As far as, when did you first start working, and when did you first discover that it was that you needed to get out of the whole illusion?
Man, I've been working since I could work because I was always with my dad. He was a fireman, so I was with him when I was in a little baby carriage, and not like I was working at that age, but I just grew up doing it. My dad was an immigrant to this country, so he didn't speak English very well, and I was like his translator. I think like a lot of what I'm hearing, you know how I am. Like we ain't supposed to win here. You know what I mean? Like this is Satan's world, and Jesus made us a promise. You know what I mean? And the promise, he will keep that. Just like he makes sure the sun shine every day and that it still rain and the wind still blow. Jesus made us a promise, and when that's the way out. That's the key. His word and staying in his word and practicing what he teaches and sharing what he teaches to other people. And that's ultimately the goal here. I mean, we were never created for this. We're living under a curse, and it's of vital importance that we understand what's going on, because without that, people could get pulled into the wrong direction. They could get pulled into the lifestyles of prostitution and selling drugs, or worshiping Satan for monetary gain. You got to understand, like, when we say they, ultimately we talking about the enemy. When any radio station you turn it to, they're talking about living a luxurious lifestyle when it's only like 1% of the world that lives that lifestyle. we're constantly being programmed. They're constantly fighting for our attention. That's how powerful we are. And once we start treating each other the correct way, and we do away with jealousy, and we decide that we're all going to live together in a house and share all of the bills so that we can all accomplish our goals, we will get there faster. But the way that everything's been designed, it's all prophecy. So we're just kind of like, we're kind of going through it, but you got to understand, like, even in the days of slavery, when there was slavery, the slaves were singing in the field. They would not let the slave masters steal their joy. So they were picking cotton. They were still singing songs of praise. And the birds, every morning when you wake up and you hear those birds chirping, they get it. The birds get it. The birds don't. We're living under illusion. We don't have to comply. We don't have to pay to live on this earth. The earth has already been provided for us. You know, the fruit and the vegetables, they grow off the trees. And there's another way. It's just that where your attention is at. You know, it's like what she was saying with people gathering around the TV. People have been programmed so much that they're just on autopilot. They don't really question it. And they keep us jumping from one foot to the other, so we don't really got time to question it. We just got time to keep it going. And it is about efficient use of energy, you know, but it's also about unity and coming together and not judging one another. That's the number one wrong thing that we could ever do, is accept these thoughts that are implemented into our mind. We have no way of really knowing where these thoughts come from. You know, I'm not saying that these are our thoughts. You know, we don't really understand the technologies that are here. You know what I'm saying? And so what we need to do is, the best thing that we can all do is always kind of just be childlike and not hold on to anger or jealousy or any type of negative energies. This kills us. It's not good for us. It's like Dr. Carolyn Leaf, she talks about neuroplasticity, and she talks about how our brains are like forests, and when we have negative thoughts, those are like decaying black trees, but when we have positive thoughts, those are like green flourishing trees. And so our mental health is of the most importance. I don't believe in schizophrenia or bipolar or any of that, because back in the days we just knew that people had demons, but they've been doing anything and everything they can to keep Satan a secret, as if demons don't exist, as if these dark energies and these occult-like things don't exist. I know from firsthand experience, because I've dealt with it at an early age. You know what I mean? I got family members that were deep into occult and Santeria and things like that. And even my dealings with Busy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony, and him trying to get me to go to a Shriners Temple so I could worship Satan so an album could come out. Or how he had one of my close friends, Prince Rasul, Jerron Thomas, thinking that he had to sacrifice his firstborn son for his album to come out. You know, this is really deep what's going on here, and we just have to understand that you know, we didn't evolve from apes. You know, we've been lied to. The sun is not millions of miles away, and if that was the case, space would not be dark. There wouldn't be clouds behind the moon. It's such a deep deception going on, and
I agree with that.
Most people don't question it. You know, people don't really analyze it and put it together. You know, how does it rain when there ain't no clouds out? You know what I'm saying? So it's like you really need to we're in an age of where knowledge is being released at a rapid rate, and it's up to everybody on, you know, it's up to everybody on their own to seek this knowledge and to implement it and share it, and not to argue and fight. You know, everybody has to be open-minded to everything and just understand it, because there's going to be so much. I mean, you got to understand, we're right now at the point where they're about to start killing Christians in America. They already do it all over the world. But out of all these religions, Christianity is the one that's the number one enemy. You know, Buddhists are not fighting with Muslims. You know what I'm saying? And Hindus are not fighting with Muslims, and you know what I mean? It's all coming against Christianity, and so people need to understand and think like, wow, why would that be? You know what I mean? Because Jesus was a real person. You know what I mean? And he lived a sinless life. He's the only one who ever did that. For me, if anybody asks me, this is always going to come out my mouth. And I'm always going to share the gospel because I know this is the truth. Because I spent my whole life studying religions, trying to figure everything out. You know what I mean? I had situations where I was in jail, but I could leave my body and astral project and be at a club, and people see me at a club. And I've dealt with the dark. You know what I mean? I've dealt with those energies, so I know they exist. And if they exist, then the good energies exist as well. So I think, you know, if you ask me my personal opinion, I'm always going to say that I would love to die for Jesus Christ. You know, I would love to get decapitated and beheaded for Jesus Christ because I know that's the truth. And people who reside on the side of truth, they know that's the truth. You know what I mean? So for people who really know deep down in their heart, like, man, something's wrong. This isn't life. This isn't the way it's supposed to be. You get on Craigslist and every job is only offering $11, $12 an hour. Something's wrong. Something is drastically wrong here. And people do want to find a way out. And the only way out is Jesus Christ. That's my opinion. And that's my belief, you know. And that's how I feel.
No, definitely respect your opinion. With this whole work force thing, man, like I was saying, at the end of the day, once you really look at everything around you in life, you realize that everything's a business, you know, like the job, you know, the workforce is a business, and everything that you see around you is a business, and it's kind of disgusting because they do anything for money, you know, because for those who don't know, Elion knows about this too. Maybe you could back me up on this, bro, but with the Federal Reserve, you know what I mean? Why don't you break down what the Federal Reserve is, Elion?
Elion, like you own a vehicle. But it's like your friend said, you know, it used to be a legal tender for gold, you know what I mean? But it's just paper, and we turn it into a cashless society. The game has been rigged, and the people that are in control and running everything right now, these you know, look, man, no person here is going to escape judgment. You see what I'm saying? There is an order for things. Rabbits produce rabbits. Birds produce birds. Alligators produce alligators. Woman is for man, so we can procreate. So what you're seeing is so obvious. And for anybody to deny it, they're complete idiots. But it's obvious that Satan is launching an attack on God and his creation. It was not meant for this. Gay people and that transgender, like, all you got to understand, this is Satan, and it all comes through mass media manipulation and through mind control and programming, and it's so many ways that we're being attacked. Frequencies, chemtrails, genetically modified organisms. Why is all this taking place, and why is it allowed to take place? Why is Marilyn Manson talking about he wants to create an app called Kinder? Instead of Tinder, he wants it to be Kinder, so kids can find each other and have sex, or so grown men adults can find kids to have sex with. You're living in a satanic society, a paganist culture.